You know that overwhelming temptation to just hit auto renew when you are completely swamped?
Oh, absolutely. It is so real.
Right, like you are making 100 decisions a day, deadlines are looming, and there is this massive, almost gravitational pull to just take the path of least resistance.
You just want to check a box and clear it off your desk.
Exactly. But today we are doing a deep dive into why that might be a huge mistake. And I have to say, looking at your background today, it is setting the perfect scene.
Yeah, I went for the full, vibrant, slightly chaotic high school journalism room vibe today.
It is brilliant. You've got the walls covered in photo proofs, the layout drafts scattered everywhere, and of course, that giant, intimidating deadline calendar right behind you.
It definitely captures that specific kind of creative panic, right?
It really does. And that is exactly who we are talking to today. We are looking at a really insightful guide titled, Before You Sign Again, 5 Questions Every Yearbook Program Should Ask Its Publisher.
And this was put together by United Yearbook.
Yes, exactly. Along with this highly detailed image of a yearbook planning desk. And our mission today is to rescue you from that auto-renew trap. We want to equip you with a 5-question audit to evaluate a crucial partnership before you actually sign on the dotted line.
Because sticking with what you know feels like efficiency when you're stressed.
Right, but it is often where innovation just kind of dies. Okay, let's unpack this, because the first question from the source is so foundational. Is your publisher proactive or only reactive?
That is such a critical distinction.
It really is. Like, we have this image of a desk, and there's a yearbook publication contract 2026-2027 just lying there. And it's surrounded by these incredibly anxious sticky notes.
Oh yeah, the ones about the budget.
Yes. One says, budget review, final approval needed. And another says, check contract terms, price locking, hidden fees. It just screams anxiety.
What's fascinating here is that a lot of programs just accept that anxiety as normal. They renew because it is, quote unquote, less complicated.
But is it actually less complicated?
Well, in the short term, maybe. But think about the administrative burden. If your partner only calls you back when a digital file is corrupted or a deadline is already missed, they aren't managing a process.
Right. They're just doing damage control.
Exactly. They're reacting to the crisis instead of preventing it. A strong publisher should be checking in all year, anticipating potential issues.
Offering guidance before deadlines become stressful.
Precisely. It is the shift from a transactional vendor mindset to a true partnership. A true partner helps a program stay ahead, not just constantly play catch-up.
You know, it makes me think of an analogy. It is like the difference between a smoke alarm and a co-pilot.
Ooh, I like that.
Right, because a reactive publisher is just a smoke alarm. It sits there quietly, doing nothing to help you prep the meal, and then it only makes noise when the kitchen is already on fire.
Yeah, and by then you were already panicking.
Exactly. But a proactive publisher acts like a co-pilot. They are checking the weather radar 50 miles ahead. They ensure a smooth production cycle rather than one that feels constantly rushed.
That is a perfect way to frame it. Because once you actually have that proactive co-pilot secured, the next step is looking at what they're actually helping you build.
Which leads us right into question number 2 from the source. Does your publisher encourage creativity or limit it?
Because if they're a great co-pilot, but they're flying you to the wrong destination, what's the point?
Right. And the source explicitly warns against publishers who rely too heavily on standardized designs and templates. It argues that the yearbook must reflect the specific culture and personality of the school.
And that means students need to be empowered to experiment. They need to play with layouts, themes, storytelling styles.
Yeah, looking back at our source image, there is a sticky note asking, are all student stories included? And it's sitting right next to these diverse layout proofs showcasing student life, class of 2027, and sports and clubs.
It shows a real desire for authentic storytelling.
It does, but I actually want to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Okay, go for it.
Wait, aren't templates an absolute lifesaver for an overwhelmed advisor? I mean, if you have a room full of 30 teenagers with varying skill levels, why knock templates? They seem necessary.
This raises an important question, and it is a totally fair point. The source isn't saying templates are evil. Templates are incredibly helpful starting points.
Like bowling bumpers.
Exactly like bowling bumpers. They keep the ball out of the gutter. But they should never permanently restrict what the staff can create.
So the issue is when you can't turn the bumpers off.
Right. If you have a student who wants to try a highly custom asymmetrical layout to capture a really unique campus event, and the system physically won't let them do it,
Then you have a problem.
a massive problem.
Yeah.
Because the ultimate goal is that the best yearbooks feel entirely unique to the campus that created them. If everyone is forced into the exact same boxes, the book loses its soul.
It just becomes a generic catalog. Okay, so having the freedom to design a unique book on a screen is great, but that is meaningless if the software makes you pull your hair out. Right?
Oh, the digital bottleneck? Yes.
Yeah. Which brings us to the intersection of tech and production. Questions 3 and 4 in our deep dive. Do production capabilities match your vision? And does the software support or slow down the team?
This is where the day-to-day reality really hits.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because let's talk about the software first. The source image shows a tablet displaying a detailed yearbook layout review interface.
Right, and the source emphasizes the need for intuitive platforms. You need tools that actually aid photo management and collaboration.
But so often, publishers force you to use their exclusive system, right?
Yes, the classic walled garden. They lock you into their proprietary software, and it is often clunky.
And if the software is terrible, the students are spending all their time fighting the program instead of being creative.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, technology should streamline your workflow. It should never become a technical bottleneck that distracts from storytelling.
The source asks a really crucial question here. Do you have the flexibility to use tools the team already knows, like Canva or Photoshop?
Which is huge. If your team already knows Adobe Photoshop, forcing them to learn a clunky proprietary system just drains their momentum.
Really does. But let's say you solve the software issue. You build this beautiful, custom, template-free design on your screen.
You still have to print the thing.
Right. And a design idea is fundamentally only as strong as the physical production capabilities behind it.
This is such an overlooked part of the process.
The guide discusses specialty techniques. We're talking about embossing, foil, textured finishes, interactive elements.
Things that makes the book a tactile experience. When you run your hand over an embossed cover, it feels permanent. It feels important.
But if your publisher doesn't have the physical presses to actually do that,
Then your brilliant digital design gets scaled way back. You end up with a flat, standard, glossy book.
your creative ideas have to be compromised because the vendor simply can't execute them.
Right. The production capability of the publisher is the hard ceiling on what your team can achieve.
Okay, so we've solved the immediate hurdles, right? We have flexible software, elite printing, a proactive co-pilot. But what happens after the books are handed out?
The inevitable turnover.
Exactly. The seniors graduate, the editors leave, and you are starting over. How does the program survive and thrive for the next incoming class?
This is the true test of a vendor.
So what does this all mean? This brings us to the fifth and final question. Is your publisher invested in your program's growth?
Because the strongest relationships extend far beyond just printing a book.
Right. A vendor prints a book, a partner does something else entirely.
A true partner provides training. They offer educational resources to help advisors and students actually grow their skills year after year.
They care about the legacy of the program, not just the single invoice.
Exactly. And summarizing United Yearbook's core philosophy from the text, it is all about providing that creative freedom, flexible tools, proactive support, and elite production.
It is a really comprehensive approach.
It is. And there is a line in the source material that really serves as the emotional core for all of this. It says, "The yearbook your students create today becomes the memory they carry for decades to come."
Oh, wow. That is a heavy but incredibly true statement.
It really shifts the perspective. And, United Yearbook leaves an open door for exploring these kinds of new possibilities.
Yeah, the source includes their contact info. If you are listening and realizing you need this kind of partnership, you can reach out to them at info@unitedyearbook.net.
Or give them a call.
Right, their number is 1-877-33-YEARBOOK. And for international listeners, that is 909-373-4087. It never hurts to just ask the questions and see what is out there.
Because thoughtful conversations lead to stronger programs.
Absolutely.